Radio do not necessarily reflect those of ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
السلام عليكم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this special edition of Living Islam Today. I am your host, Qasim Rashad, and today is Saturday, May the 10th. It is also another monumental date in the lives of Muslims from all over the world. It is the 28th of Sha'ban, and that means tomorrow will be the 29th of Sha'ban, and we will be looking to sight the moon to begin the month of Ramadan, 1442. We began by giving you the greetings of peace be upon you, and we extend those sincere greetings to everyone within our listening audience, Muslims, non-Muslims, friends, family, and the like. And we said all the praise belongs to Allah, therefore we praise Him, we seek His forgiveness, and we seek His help. And we seek refuge with Almighty God from those things, those evil deeds or evil whisperings which emanate from within our very own souls, our very own selves. And let it be known, whomever Allah guides, no man can misguide. And whomever Allah permits to go astray, no man can guide. And we close with what is called or known as the Kalima Shahadatain, and that is the two-part testimony and the witnessing that all Muslims say every day, at least 5 times a day, and that is, I bear witness and give open testimony that there's nothing, no God, no deity, worthy of worship except Almighty God, Allah. He is alone without associate or partner. And I bear witness that Muhammad ibn Abdullah, unto whom the Quran was revealed on what is now known as the Saudi Arabian Peninsula over 1400 years ago, is his slave, servant, and final messenger. And once again we say, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Living Islam Today, 900 AM WRD, 96.1 FM, and WRDradio.com on the internet. And today we have with us a very, very special guest, someone that I consider to be a personal friend, confidant, mentor, leader, imam, you name it. This brother holds all of that which is dear to me as a Muslim, as a friend, and as a leader. He is the founder of the Eid at Six Flags and Disney World, the Muslim that brought Eid celebrations to those big parks for the Muslims to enjoy and celebrate. He brought Jumu'ah to Capitol Hill when it had never been done before. Record amounts of Muslims were there on Capitol Hill on that historic Friday, that Jumu'ah. And he also has brought Iftar and Jumu'ah to the United Nations as a liaison for Muslims and Muslim countries to the United Nations. The man that I'm talking about, inshallah, who is running for mayor, and inshallah will be the next mayor of one of the greatest cities on earth, New York City. I'm talking about none other than our dear brother, Abdul Malik Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, brother Abdul Malik.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. You should come on the campaign with such introduction.
Alhamdulillah.
How you
All praise to Allah.
And let's not forget, brother, the support we got under your leadership from the United Muslim Movement, Brother Shaheed Dewan, Brother Jihad, and Brother Lukman, for that great event that we had on Capitol Hill. We're always grateful. May Allah bless you and your friends and the community for all that you guys are doing down there in the great city of brotherly love and sisterhood affection, as I was reminded.
I saw that. Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah. Well, welcome aboard. You are always a dynamic brother that's taking it to the next level. And clearly the next level for you is your aspirations to be the next mayor of Gotham City. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and what motivated you to make that decision to leap into that pond.
Well, you know, Brother Qasim, I'm a native New Yorker, born in the great city of New York from the place that we call Brownsville. It is the area in Brooklyn that is most underserved. It is a place that many have been trapped in the gateways of poverty, miseducation, the absence of resources. Since I was born 54 years ago, we still don't have a college or a training institute in Brownsville. And I see the devastation in New York City and the constant exclusion of many of those of us who are from this city. And I also see the suffering of the great people of New York in the midst of this pandemic. And as I began to look at the historical leadership of the various political entities, I asked myself a fundamental question. When I looked around and I saw the challenges, I said, can you serve the great people of New York? And can you be a voice of unity for all people, for blacks, for whites, for Jews, for Gentiles, for Muslims, for Christians, for Buddhists, for Hindus, for atheists, for the gay, for the straight? Can you be a voice and be a person that stands up for justice for all people? And can you make a difference and find a pathway to unite the city whereupon we find our common humanity in pursuit of the basic essentials of life, that we all may experience the abundance of this city and create a future for our children and unborn generations that only we can create for ourselves. So when I asked myself those fundamental questions, my answer to those questions was, yes, I can serve. I can be a leader for all people, and I can fight for justice and fight for economic access to the wealth of this city. And I can fight for affordable housing. I can fight for health care. I can fight for the training that is essential for people to be prepared for the jobs of this 21st century. So when I looked around and I seen the people that were running in the race and examined some of their political previous experiences, I said, listen, man, we can win this race. And I still believe 100%, Brother Qasim, I am, by the grace of the Most High God, and the great spirit of the people of New York, I'll be the next mayor of this city. I believe it.
Alhamdulillah. I believe with you too, Brother Malik. But let me ask you specifically, why now? You've been a native New Yorker for some years now. Is it because you're a more mature and learned individual? What has prompted you at this point in time in your life to decide to run for the mayor?
I think COVID-19 opened my eyes. When I seen the level of indifference of the political officials to the extent that our first line workers, the men and women, could not even get PE, protective equipment. They couldn't get basic masks. And we were running around trying to raise money to get masks for hospital institutions, but we have money for bullets and war and for foolish things that we can spend money on. But people that were battling in the city to save the lives of New Yorkers, they were left without the needed services and the assistance of government. And when I looked into those tractor trailers and I saw all the dead bodies, and I saw the government begin to have what you call mass grave digging outside Rikers Island. They started just taking people's bodies that people were unable to claim. Some funeral homes were making you wait 2 or 3 months for a funeral, and the prices for funeral were going up, and they were burying the people 300 or 400 in one grave right across from the prison on Rikers Island. I said to myself, we can do better. And when I looked at the rise of racism and hatred and bigotry, and I see the gentrification and the poverty, I said, no, we can do better. And then I had to dig deep inside, and I said, you know what? This is that moment. And I decided, you know what? Not just now, but I have a post 5 years ago on Facebook where I posted 5 years ago that I would be the next mayor for New York City in the upcoming election. So just in public, instantly, it's been a thought I had for the last 5 years. But when I saw the impact of COVID-19, the indifference and the reckless leadership of the government, I said, oh, my God, we can do better than this. This is America, people. We have gifted and talented people in this city who can lead, who can unite us, and who have visions and can create a blueprint for us to be ready for the next tragedy that's coming, because the next tragedy is coming, right? We have signs of challenges in healthcare and poverty and health. We know that there are problems that are bound to come. The infrastructure is horrible. When I saw those things, I said, listen, man, I got to run. I got to try to serve this city, a place of my birth, and a people that I have a deep love and affinity for. I said, you know what? I have to put my hat in this race, believing and knowing with the good spirit of the great people of New York City, I can and will win. I believe it.
I'm doing that. Let me ask you, what attributes you bring to the table, and why, or what do you say about those who say you have never been elected to a political office? And what qualifies you best for that?
You know, I'll tell you something in the great words of Dr. King. He said we all qualify for greatness because we all can serve. My qualification is my whole life commitment to helping and serving people and fighting for justice and being a voice for truth to the best of my knowledge. I don't believe that I'm better than any other candidate, because that would be a statement of arrogance. I just believe that I'm different. I believe my sincerity, my devotion, my relationship with people from every ethnic community, every religious background, I believe that that spirit of unity is now more essential than anything for New Yorkers to be able to survive. And I believe that I have that capacity, I have that experience of working with people from every background in pursuit of the goodwill of the people of New York City. And I don't believe that I have all the answers in my head. Sometimes, you know, brother, you have the best questions, but there are others who have the best answers. My approach to leadership is to identify the best minds and those who have the greatest experience in the areas based upon their expertise, and come together, listen to those voices, and execute and design a blueprint that will get us where we need to go. Now, you don't need to have a political background to come into the body politics. And that's what I want all the listeners to know, right? You don't need to have been an elected official, because many people are already in politics. Some have been there too long and have now become part of the problem when they're supposed to be part of the solution. So don't ever let people tell you, what's your background? What was Trump's background? He has never been a politician, but he sat in the White House for 4 years, and he galvanized 74 million Americans to support him, even though his message was not one that we all embraced. He still was the president. And I want everyone that's out there to know one thing. You don't need a political background. You need a heart that is based in sincerity, a desire to serve, and a willingness to identify the men and women with the knowledge, the experience, and the expertise to become part of your team and allow them to assist and guide you in making the best decisions for the people.
Alhamdulillah. You brought something to the fore of our discussion, and that's former President Donald Trump and how he lacked experience. But what he did do was he stoked us a sentiment of divisiveness and racism within this country that I'm sure has touched all parts of New York and has touched all parts of Philadelphia, all over the nation, even globally. You see some of the nationalism and the racism and the white extremism that he tapped into and kind of spread that idea and concept. As mayor, how would you unify your city and bring it back to the city of immigrants, the city of diversity, the city of multiculturalism and peace?
Well, I think that's a great question, because one of the things that I emphasize in my message is that one of my goals as the mayor of this city is to unify the great people of New York, regardless of our race, our religion, ethnicity, our gender, social or political affiliation, regardless of our lifestyle of choices, that we recognize first and foremost our common humanity, and that within each and every one of us there are gifts and talents and seeds of greatness that have given the proper resources and opportunity. We can cultivate those greatness that's in us and share the good that's in us with others. So in my view, I believe it's essential for the leader of New York City, or any leader for that matter, to be a uniting force to bring people together in pursuit of what is good for the city and for the common good of the community. And I think that's one of my greatest assets, brother. I have been blessed.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Speaking to diplomats and people from all over the world, crisscrossing America, speaking at various colleges, universities, and various faith institutions and government institutions to people from all walks of life. And I think that's one of my greatest assets, that I can reach across the table to all people, you know, regardless of the differences that may exist, which are not that major. We make them major. And I think Trump actually provided us with an opportunity to look in the mirror. Have we become that union that reflects the perfection that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal and endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights? Have we reached that perfect union yet? And the answer, of course, is no. We got a way to go. But we're on the journey. We are on the journey.
Well, that preamble that you just quoted is often quoted by clergy and religious people. And it's apparent that you believe it and you believe in it. So being a man of faith, being an imam, being a khatib, a lecturer on the subject of Islam and politics and society and so on and so forth, how does your faith help you, or how will it help you when you are the next mayor of New York?
Well, one of the most beautiful things is that my faith is not on the ballot. My name is. And so I tell people that if you want to deal with issues of faith, I'm a person of faith that goes beyond the word religion. I'm a firm believer in human excellence and the endless possibility that lies in the greatness of the people. My faith in the Creator is unshakable. I believe without any doubt that I'm blessed by the Creator to be a servant of the Creator and to serve all of humanity. But my religion does not govern the office of the mayor. And I've learned something in being in this race so far, or being coming into the race, that a lot of people, whether it was banks or institutions I was dealing with, they saw the name Abdul Malik, and the minute they saw that, religion became the question. And I said to them, it's interesting. No other candidate you think of their faith. Why do you think of my religion? Why is my religion even a subject matter? My name is on the ballot, not my faith. But we have been conditioned as a people in this great hour of ours to be judges and haters of what we don't understand. So I've already warned those that are running in this race already. If any of them try to use my religion as a weapon against me, we will make sure that they will be defeated at the polls, and we will awaken the American people that it's this kind of sickness and bigotry that is responsible for so much suffering in country and in the world. The same thing that's happening now to our Asian brothers and sisters that are experiencing the sting of hatred. Now it's become physical. So this is not a thing of religion. This is a thing of service. And my faith teaches me to serve and to care for those in society who are in need of our gifts, our services, our love, our compassion, our kindness, and more than anything, that we provide for them a path of self-reliance, self-determination, and self-fulfillment. So I'm definitely inspired by what I believe to be my divine calling and duty to serve the Creator and humanity, and I'm unapologetically a Muslim. And I've made that clear in all of my posts, that I'm unapologetically a Muslim, and I'm not going to throw away my faith or deny anything that I believe in when it comes to the doctrine of my own conviction. But my faith is not on the ballot. My name is.
Alhamdulillah. And I believe that the current mayor of London is a Muslim.
Yeah.
Have you ever met him, or have you spoken to him about your plans to run for mayor of New York?
No, I've never met him, Brother Qasim. And what we're doing right now in this campaign is we intend to come out the gate with about 300 cars. We have the Caravan of Love and Unity, where we're going to reach out to all of those in the gates of power across the world and in America who can guide us and share the best of their experiences with us. And he's someone that I would like to talk with. He is definitely like to reach out to, because I think he can share with me his experience being a man of faith, and of a faith that historically has never been part of the electoral body of the British.
And you're not the only one on the ballot who has never been elected to a political office. There are several, including Andrew Yang, who rose to superstardom in the last campaign, electoral campaign, running against Biden. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Andrew Yang is leading right now in the polls.
Right, he's leading in the polls. But he has always struck an affinity with the voting public based on his economic plans and strategies. What is your economic plan, and how does it compare to the economic plan? I think Andrew Yang even suggested giving every voter $1,000 or something to that effect when he was running for president.
Well, I think that's mockery when people talk about giving every voter $1,000 as though that's going to make some significant difference in the lives of people that are struggling each and every day. That's like casino talk, you know? You come to the casino, we'll give you $1,000 while you lose $5,000 for the night. So that kind of stuff doesn't impress me. It's meant to play with the emotions of voters. What I believe, brother, when it comes to the economic development of this city, there's a key component missing. A lot of jobs that are already available. We've taken a significant hit, but there are a lot of jobs that are available, right? And I'm going to use Amazon. Amazon wanted to come to New York City and provide 25,000 jobs, right? The community protests Amazon for various reasons. One of the major reasons why people was against Amazon coming into Queens was that the rent, the landlords had started going up on the rent by $800. So what was $1,800 now was becoming $2,600. So they were anticipating all these new people coming in from outside. Those are not jobs that New Yorkers would have filled. Amazon would have used our infrastructure, and they would have come in and had these 25,000 people come into Queens, and then they would start a new level of gentrification, right, and removing people out of their homes. And what happens is that knowledge base is a key component that we need to talk about when we talk about job creation. Because since I was a child, Brother Carson, and this hurts me, since I was a child living in Brownsville, there's never been a college or a training institution that prepares the great men and women of my community for the jobs that are available, right? So here it is. I'm from Brownsville at 54. We have no college, but we have a jail. The government built a jail. They have a beautiful jail across the street from the project, but they've never invested in the education. So in order to benefit from the economic development that government institutions put forth, you have to make sure that people have the necessary knowledge and they have the skill training to prepare them for the opportunities. And that is one of the greatest failures of New York City's public education institutions. They have not prepared the people for the opportunities that exist. And when you talk about the impact now of COVID-19, one of the major industries in New York City that provides, I would say maybe 19% of the business of employment was the hotel industry, hospitality. That has been devastated. There are hotels right now that have been closed since the impact of COVID-19. There's no magic wand to bring that back. When you look at the business sector, they, in terms of business services, they account for about 24% of the jobs that were created throughout the city over the last 5 to 10 years. Right now, I spoke to the district attorney. Out of 1,200 people that work in his office, only 200 people, come to work right now because this COVID-19 has impacted the workforce, where a lot of things are being done now virtually from people's homes, right? So one of my focuses is, number one, is how do we first keep the people that are working, keep them working? And I think there's some key things that we need to do for the business community that continues to keep their doors open. And I've spoken to people in business, and they've told me it's okay to focus on the creation of new jobs, but you don't want to lose the jobs they already have. And they are pleading for relief in the area of taxation because they passed a new bill in Albany to go up on the taxes of the small business community leaders and the small businesses in our community. That has to stop. I believe in light of COVID-19, we have to have a way where we suspend taxes on small businesses that employ anywhere between 5 to 20 people, and that we give them some form of relief in federal funding to keep people that are working to continue to work. And I have another thing that's crucial when it comes to the creation of jobs. I want to shift a little bit from job creation to job or business investment, I want to say, because one of the key elements of the cost, and that's so important, I watch various government programs. The minute the government is short on money, they talk about raising taxes, raising taxes, raising taxes. And they create a class warfare system between the rich, the poor, and those that are in between. We need to have platforms that allow the people of New York to have self-determination, self-reliance, and understand we live in a global economy, right? And these platforms and technology now allows us to do business with people all over the world. What can we produce as New Yorkers and sell to the world? And what can we do to teach people the importance of entrepreneurship, how to create services and products that are good and manufactured here in this city, right? We need to become more creative and stop going down the same routine. Well, can the government create jobs for us? I want the people of New York to ask this question. What can we do for ourselves? What jobs can the people of New York create for themselves? What resources do you need? What investment capital do you require from the government that we can assist you with? But we as a people need to develop a mindset of self-reliance, self-governance, self-determination. But I have one proposal that's crucial to help create jobs and businesses and educational platform to give people the skills they need. And this may sound crazy to many, but I'm going to share it with you for the first time. I've been looking at my background as a fundraiser, and I've fundraised hundreds of millions of dollars for different non-for-profit organizations to build cultural centers, religious institutions, and places of education, right? And Brother Qasim, I came up with this proposal, man, that I'd like to raise $5 to $25 billion from the world community. And my first request will be to our friends in the state of Israel. I would like to ask the Israeli community to contribute to a fund for job creation and economic development to help New York rebound and help us raise $25 billion that will be earmarked, number one, to invest in the education system to give people the knowledge that they need. Number two, invest in entrepreneurship and the creation of small businesses. Number three, to help us with the necessary knowledge that sometimes may be required from developing relationships with the international community so that we can move forward and be more in a position to take advantage of the opportunities that are before us. I'm looking at raising, brother, about $25 billion from the world community. And I've sat down and I've identified different countries, from Israel to Saudi Arabia, to the people of Qatar and Kuwait, to the people of African nations, to those countries that America has given financial aid to over the years, that we've given them billions of dollars. Right now, the great people of New York City, we also will need your input and your contributions for a special fund for economic development. And I would love to see jobs created specifically, more jobs in education, more jobs that deal specifically in healthcare and services. I would love to see us create a beautiful platform for job training so that we can continue with construction and that we start with the rebuilding of the infrastructure of New York City. Because right now, brother, the infrastructure of this city is in great danger. There's suddenly the pipe.
Brother Abdul Malik, if I may cut you off, we do have a caller who would like to speak with you.
Absolutely.
We have Brother Amin from North Philly on line 1. Brother Amin.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother. First of all, I just want to express, have a lot of deep respect for our brother. But I was just listening, and obviously, my question comes to mind. The brother says that he's an unapologetic Muslim. I know that from just hearing him speak from over the years. But my question is, as a candidate as a candidate for mayor in New York, and given the huge base of the LBQTG and beyond community, not only in New York but worldwide, I'm just wondering, how would our brother address them in terms of being a mayor for all the people, and also, as his comment he just mentioned, that he's going to solicit funds from around the world. We have this LGBT community, a QT community, which has a huge base. How would you address them in saying that you're for them, but you're staunchly and unapologetically against their lifestyle? That's a question that I know that most Muslims that are in politics face, and I'm just curious as to how you would address that. Shukran for taking my question. I'll just cut off here and listen for the response. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Brother Abdul Malik, we've come up on a commercial break, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to mull it over even a little more. But we anxiously await your response, because that was the most interesting question, and I'm sure you'll have a most interesting response. You're listening to Living Islam Today, 900 AM WURD, 96.1 FM WURD. I'm your host, Qasim Rashad, and we'll be right back. Assalamu alaikum.
Khadija Alderman's Funeral Service Incorporated. Don't let your family bear the burden of your final arrangements. Pre-arrange now.
We specialize in janazah services, traditional Christian services, natural burials, and theme services.
We provide repasts, domestic and international shipping, webcasting, and Skyping.
We service all denominations.
Our new location, 1924 West Hunting Park Avenue, Philadelphia 19140, 215-225-6600. Visit us at www.khadijasfuneralservice.com. That's www.KHADIJAHFUNERALSVC.com.
Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Khadija Alderman's Funeral Service, serving humanity with dignity.
Nearly 26% of Philadelphia's population lived below the poverty line in 2017. There's an increasing share of residents struggling to cover the most fundamental necessities. On a national level, Philadelphia was among the highest with poverty rates. Muslim Serve's mission is to develop and implement programs addressing food insecurity in collaboration with local community partners. Fundamentally, Muslim Serve strives to uplift those in our community by providing free, hot, nutritious meals. This is done by partnering with a variety of local community organizations and establishments with the goal to bring comfort to those in need and to relieve hunger in our area, no matter who they are. veterans, students, people with disabilities, single parents, senior citizens, working class families, and children. Muslims Serve can be reached by phone at 833-486-4370 or by email at info@muslimserve.org. Learn more about Muslims Serve and what they do on their website, muslimserve.org, and on their social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Muslims Serve. You're listening to Living Islam Today, an Ahmed Media Company project on WURD Radio, 900 AM and 96.1 FM.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Living Islam Today, 900 AM and 96.1 FM on your Philadelphia radio dial. We're also at WRDradio.com, and you can call in at 215-634-8565 or 866-361-0900. I can't recognize my own handwriting. That's 866-361-0900. And today is Saturday, May the 28th, and it is also May the 10th, Saturday, May the 10th. It is also Shaban, the 28th of Shaban, the day before we look for the moon of Ramadan. And we are in the studios virtually with our brother, Abdul Malik Muhammad, who is seeking to be the next mayor of New York City. And he was asked the question, if he is to be elected as the next mayor of New York City, how would he reconcile being the mayor to the LGBTQ community as it opposed to, he said he is unapologetically a Muslim as well. That question was posed to him by our brother Amin in North Philly. I now turn the microphone over to our brother Abdul Malik.
Well, let me say, first of all, that's a great question. And it's one that anyone that's running for public office must anticipate. And for those that want to know more of my views, I want you to visit my website in the future, which is going to be malikformayor.com. Malikformayor.com, one word, malikformayor.com, malikformayor.com. So one of the things I've learned, Brother Carson, and this has been a journey for me throughout my life, is that it takes a mind of maturity to listen to the views and the opinions of others without being angry or frustrated or bitter or filled with rejection for something you may not accept, believe in, or understand. I look at the sun. It shines on all of us. I look at the life that we have been given. All of us have been given the life that we've been given by the Creator. And we may talk about the LGBT community, but we don't talk about the people that commit adultery and the people that fornicate and the people that do other things that we may not necessarily be on the same page on, right? So this is what I tell all people, right? Whatever people are doing in their personal lives, number one, it's not my business. Number two, I'm here to work on the common things that we can agree upon, because we're not going to agree on everything, and I'm not going to be divided from humanity based upon people's personal choices, right? So here it is. I'm focused on food, clothing, shelter, safety, security, education, justice for all. Now, I always tell people this, because I talk to the members of the Jewish community, the gay community, the black community, everybody. You know, if I got shot right now and I was rushed into a hospital, right, I'm not going to ask somebody, what's your religion? Oh, what's your sexual orientation? What political affiliations are you with? I'm not going to ask those questions. So why is it that we're so consumed with other people's lifestyle every single day when we got our own things that we need to focus on? I don't focus on, personally, other people's choices. I focus on what must we do for the goodness of our society and a shared future that we cannot escape. We have a shared destiny that is unescapable. So if there are people in the black community, the gay community, the Jewish community, the Zionist community, the Arab community that says, you know what, Mr. Mayor, I like to help you on economic development. I like to work with you on having state streets and police reform. I like to help you in the pursuit of justice and racial equality. I'm not concerned with their personal choices. Nor will I treat anybody in a way that is undignified because I don't agree with that. because that's not for me to do. So if the Creator has seen fit to give people life, because that's how we all get here, right? If the Creator sees fit to give you life, it's my duty to respect you in the life that you have been given. We may not agree on choices, but brother, I have washed people with my own hands that were part of the LGBT community. And in all of our families and all of our friends and all of our neighborhoods, there are people that belong to the LGBT community. In fact, for the Muslims in America who experience rejection, Islamophobia, and the bigotry, and including the protests in the streets for Black Lives Matter, a lot of that resistance was organized by people from the LGBT community. And at many times when they were being, when the Muslims of New York were being denied the right for permits to open up their Islamic centers, it was many of those from that community that stood with them. So I'm not looking for divisiveness. I'm looking for the common things we can agree on. And I will not, as a believer, as a mayor, or as an unelected official, I will never, ever stand by and allow bigotry and hatred and violence to be practiced against anybody because we don't agree or we don't like what they're doing. What if somebody don't like that we're Muslims anymore? There could be a group right now that says, you know what? I don't like that you're a Muslim. I don't like that you wear a headpiece. I don't like that you call it Adhan. And what do we want them to do, Todd? So I think we have to walk a fine line of fairness. If you want to practice your lifestyle and you don't want to be bothered because of the choices you make to be a Muslim or a Christian or a Jew or an atheist, then you got to give other people the same rights and the same benefits. And when they're looking for housing, they're looking for jobs, they're looking for opportunity, you can't deprive them of their humanity because you don't agree with what's going on. Because a lot of people have done the LGBT community dirty over the years. All of those young boys that were sexually molested and destroyed in religious institutions, and nobody said a damn thing about it. So now that they've come out and said, you know what, we will no longer be silent and be oppressed and be deprived of our humanity, that they will fight for the same things that we're fighting for. You don't, what, you can't accept that? If a man is gay, he can't have housing because he's gay. If a woman is a lesbian, oh, she can't work because she's a lesbian. Where do we learn that from? I'm not for hatred. We may not agree with people based upon their lifestyle, but we will have to respect their humanity and their right to live in peace, safety, and security. And we must treat all people with dignity, whether we agree or disagree. We must treat them with and respect.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, we got another call for you, Brother Imam Abdul Malik. We got Labeik Jake and Alni on line 2. Labeik Jake, Assalamu alaikum, sir. You still there?
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum to you, brother. You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, to you, Brother Malik, may Allah be with you in your quest there to make New York greater. But, you know, I hear a lot of Muslims all the time. Because we're Muslim, it's almost like we should attack, you know, the LGBTQ community or, you know, other people, you know, just because they're who they are. And in my study of Islam, and, you know, this is what I get from it, is that our Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, he got along with all human beings, right? He made peace with all humans, right? And it even says that he is a mercy to all mankind, right? So I don't know. I just don't see. I see it the way you see it, in that I'm going to be a Muslim doing all that I can to obey Allah and his messenger, but I'm not going to condemn anybody to the hellfire because I don't have that kind of power because, you know, we're all, the Prophet himself, peace and blessing be upon him, said even he would only get to Jannah by Allah's mercies, right? So what would make me try to condemn somebody or put somebody down? That's, to me, that's how the shaitan works, right? I mean, Brother Imam, maybe you could tell me that I'm wrong, but I'll just, you know, that's the way I see it. And if I'm seeing it wrong, can you help a brother out? Inshallah.
No, brother, I think what you said is correct. And I think this is one of the tragedies of America's politics, right, is we always look to attack and throw stones, right? I'm not interested in attacking any group of people, right, at all. I have zero tolerance for attacking anybody. I want freedom, justice, and equality, and I want to find common ground: food, clothing, shelter, education, housing, healthcare, justice reform. I want to find common ground, because if we allow hatred to be practiced against any group in America, it's going to open the gate for hatred against so many others. You see, the struggle of the African-American community for racial equality now has spilled over into another level of hatred, right, that is now coming back again for the Asian community, because they have a story, too, of being mistreated, right? So we have a custom and a culture in the politics of America of attacking the other. No, I'm here to work with all people, whether I agree with them or disagree with them, or they agree with me or disagree with me on anything. We become mature when we ask ourselves the fundamental question: what can we do in the best interest of humanity? Because the gay community is not going anywhere. The Muslim community is not going anywhere. Black America is not going anywhere, right?
But Abdul Malik, the calls are flooding in, so let's take a couple more calls.
No problem.
I have time for the interview. I've got Brother Joe in Germantown on line 3. Joe.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Abdul Malik. How you doing, good brothers?
Wonderful, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Hey, I just want to say real quick, as a Muslim, I agree with Brother Jacob, too, because I'm a 59-year-old black man, Brother Abdul, and I've told the story many times. I am a straight heterosexual male, and I love sisters. I love women. I'm just going to be clear on that. But at the same time, I like to be treated the way I want to be treated, the way I treat others the way I want to be treated. You never heard me get on this radio station and call somebody the F word or whatever, or I don't do that and stuff, because in my lifetime, I can honestly say, no gay man or gay woman, to my knowledge, at least to my knowledge, had ever done anything to try to hurt me. The ones that have done stuff to try to hurt me in my lifetime have been straight men and straight women. I'm just going to be honest with you. Now, again, like you said, choice, I may not agree with their lifestyle, because that's just the way it is for me. But I don't mistreat them, and I treat them, like I said, I treat people the way I want to be treated. I was on my former job, but I couldn't make it real quick. It was a gay brother that showed me to train me on the job. I didn't hang out with him like that, but he was a good guy. I never called him out of his name. He treated me with respect. He never said nothing out of the way to me. So I gave him the respect and humanity that he showed towards me. And that's why I'm inspired, Brother Abdul Malik, by your candidacy, because you've got a good heart. And I'm gonna support you. I got friends up in New York and stuff. I'm gonna call them up in New York and try to get them to support your candidacy and stuff, because you're speaking from the heart. And I pray to Allah that you're successful in your run for mayor. And thanks, Brother Cosmo, for the time. I know you pressed the time. I just want to get that in real quick. Thanks, Brother Cosmo.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Brother Joe. Now we got Abdul Rahim. I think we got 2 Abdul Rahims, too. So let's go to the first one. Abdul Rahim on line 3.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Hey man, I'm good. I'm happy to hear a real open-minded brothers running for man New York that's just being open-minded. It's just like the Africans is the Negro American experience in America, though, right? Nobody has been subjected like us. I don't think most people have a problem, because we all know gays. I grew up in the gangs protecting a couple of gay brothers because they was the sons of my mother's girlfriend. And I wouldn't, and I could fight, right? So I was like, yo, dude, you going to take advantage of this guy, you have to deal with me. Leave the guy alone. So the thing is, with the African American experience, though, is we have to be very careful, right? That the demographics, right, of the LGBT community, the illegal or legal immigrant community, even the Jewish community, right? Nobody has been subjected to for 400, taking our families apart, sold us through slavery, and everybody's piggybacking off our struggle, right? And they're benefiting from this. So the new thing is the Asian hate, which I don't see Asian hate. We got some crazy maniac white boy come kill
bunch of Asians. I've never seen in the black community. We've been subjected to Asians, like patronizing their stores, how they treat us as a people, right? Because I see it, right? So the Asian hate, like, we have to be very careful with that, because nobody, especially the Negro male in America, we're the most hated and sought after. We can see that by the prison industrial complex. We can see that by the discrimination we get for employment. Right? We have to be very, very instrumental, especially now with all this empathy, right, on racial injustice. Right? So we should be at the front of the line, right, with anybody, like the corporations, this country, America, not just for reparations, but from
Brother Raheem, I'm gonna have to cut you off, Sheikh. I apologize, but this is Sheikh Malik's show. Okay. All right, so we got another. Thank you for your commentary. Appreciate it. So we're gonna move on to the next Abdul Rahim in Overbrook on line 4. Abdul Rahim, do you have a question or comment? If you have a comment, be brief. If you have a question, shoot it.
Yeah, I was just wanting to give my salams and congratulations to Brother Abdul Malik on your run, because what you're showing is the Sunnah in practice. You fighting for justice. You're in New York City, which has a lot of visibility to the entire world, and that's like a huge adawah to Islam. Because just by reading your mission, that people would know, okay, well, this is what Muslims are really about. The other thing I wanted to speak to is, if you can, I don't know if you do or not, is to kind of weave into your platform, encourage people to stay together, because the things like the education and crime, a lot of these are based on the broken families. I don't know how we're going to fix it, but I know if we do fix it, a lot of the problems we have as Afro-Americans, even just Americans in general, would be solved. And again, congratulations. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Thank you for your comments, Brother Abdul Rahim. Let's get back to our Brother Abdul Malik. You're listening to Living Islam Today. Today is, in fact, April the 10th. It is not May the 10th. I think I've made that faux pas a couple times, but it's April the 10th, and it is the 28th of Sha'aban. And you're listening to Living Islam Today, and our host is, hopefully, inshallah, God willing, we can never say something that's confirmed until Allah has blessed it, the next mayor of New York, our Brother Abdul Malik. And my next question comes from our Brother Sultan Ahmed, who is a political guru in Philadelphia. He ran the campaign for Bobby Seale's almost successful mayoral bid in in the city of Oakland. And he also ran the successful campaign for Mayor Wilson Goode, who was the first black mayor of Philadelphia. And his question to you is, where do you see your votes coming from, and what is the number? What number does Abdul Malik have to get to be successful at being the mayor?
Well, I think that's a great question. I see my vote coming from the entire New York City population. I see I will get a strong vote from the African-American community, from the Latino community, from the Asian community, from the LGBT community, from the Jewish community. We have over 1 million Muslims in New York City. We have over 250,000 Muslims alone in the public school institution, and we have 350,000 registered Muslim voters. And, of course, we have the European Americans in the city. So I believe in my spirit that with approximately, I believe I would need at least 3 million or more votes to capture the office of the mayor. And I'll research that, but I do believe in this. I've spoken to the people in this city, in different pockets, in different circles. The great people of New York City are looking for a unifier, not a divider. And my target is the young voters, our elders, our business leaders, our cultural leaders, and the people in general, because as of Tuesday, I will be hitting the street officially. I have the official capacity now to get my petition signed, and as I run as an independent, I can get the signatures of the Democrat, the Republican, the Independent, and those that may be registered as others. So I'm a firm believer at this hour that by the grace and mercy of the Most High, I will be able to galvanize the support of the entire city of New York. I'm looking for the support of the people of New York from every corner. I'm not the black candidate. I'm not the Muslim candidate. I'm not just a male candidate. I'm a candidate, I believe, for all people who recognize that we have a common humanity and a shared destiny that we cannot escape, and that together we can make this city a great place for all of us.
Alhamdulillah. Now, I'm going to give you this opportunity to tell our listening audience, which is primarily the Philadelphia region, but because we are virtual and we are simulcast on Facebook and throughout the internet, you can have a base anywhere that you want. And I'm going to give you this opportunity to tell our listening audience how they can help become the next mayor of New York. So whatever fundraising resources or outlets that you have, however they can participate in your campaign, they want to come to New York and pass out leaflets, I'm giving you this chance, this time, and opportunity to do that.
Well, I'm so happy, brother, that you would give me this unique opportunity. Number one, I want people to know that by the rules and regulations, anyone can support our campaign financially. You would go on Malik, M-A-L-I-K, for mayor, onWURD.com. MalikForMayor.com. You can donate $5, $10, $100. The max is $5,100 for each donor. You can visit our website. You can also find me on Facebook as Abdul Malik. I'm speaking constantly about our campaign and what we're doing to make it successful and how you can participate. We're organizing what we call the Campaign of Love and Unity, which is a campaign that we're organizing for a caravan to crisscross New York City. We like to crisscross New York City with a caravan, whereupon we can speak to the hearts and minds of the great people of New York City and find common ground to shape a future that is in the best interest of all of us. And so I'd like for you to go online if you're interested. You go online, Malik for Mayor as one word, MalikForMayor.com, and you can organize and come out with us on the caravan. And for the believers that are listening, the beauty of my political campaign and the petition begins in the month of Ramadan. Like, that to me is just another sign that I must run, because I'm only authorized to get signatures in the month of Ramadan. I couldn't ask for a better sign. And so if you want to join on to the caravan, and even though you can't vote, you can help me pass out the flyers and the pamphlets and put our posters up in the stores. You can encourage voters to sign the petition with those that are authorized to sign the petition. But I want to say to our community, this is indeed a unique opportunity for us to come together and do something extremely meaningful and impactful to show our commitment to the service of humanity, our love for justice and compassion and equality and equity. So I would love all of you that are in the listening audience today, if you would go to the site MalikForMayor.com as one word and make a small contribution of your own choice. And I'd love for you to tell me, you know what? I would like to join the caravan. And I'll come with 5 people, 10 people, 2 people, 3 people. Bring the children. We want a caravan across New York City and allow us.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, Mayor Malik, we have succinctly run out of time, and I'm going to ask you to take your mayor's robe off and put on your imam's thobe and close us out with a dua.
Oh, brother, my prayer is real simple. May Allah bless us in this amazing month of Sha'ban and give us the comfort and the coolness and the blessings of this sacred month of Ramadan. And may He give all of us the knowledge and the guidance that we need to be successful in doing His will. And may He increase us in love, understanding, humility, compassion, kindness, and give us the spirit to fight for justice for all.
Alhamdulillah. You've been listening to Living Islam Today with our guest, Mayor from Malik from Mayor.com. Go to MalikForMayor.com and vote for our brother if you can when you're in New York, if you live in New York. But surprise him and just make a $100,000 donation today, inshallah. Once again, thank you for listening to Living Islam Today. I'm your host, Qasim Rashad. My guest has been Abdul Malik, who is running for the mayor of the city of New York. Assalamu alaikum.